Good evening. Tonight I'm going to be talking about a video on YouTube by John Cecily Brown. In this video, he talks a lot about playing with knowledge and creating knowledge and tinkering with knowledge. He says some very interesting things. I like how it kind of acknowledges that the way we learn, it's not a simple matter of transmitting knowledge from the one who has knowledge to the person who previously did not. It's a matter of playing with knowledge. It's a matter of us seeing how that knowledge fits into what we already believe, and just kind of playing around with it and finding out what it really means to us and what we will really ultimately make out of that. So I like that he kind of acknowledges that in what he's talking about. I think this idea of playing with knowledge could create much more thoughtful students and, as a result, more thoughtful persons and citizens. I think this could definitely be a good thing for our society. I wonder how it would work out if implemented in the classroom. Obviously, you have standards that could limit, or maybe not so much even limit, but just have a serious effect on how you go about implementing this style of learning in the classroom. I wonder how students would react to it. I think that on a positive note, the idea of playing with knowledge, creating knowledge, which would give them much more of a sense of control and allow them to be much more engaged in what they're learning. But on the other hand, I wonder if they're going to be a little reluctant to really engage in this. That students complain about the traditional classroom being boring, but it does give them a lot of anonymity and kind of allows them to hide and not really expose themselves and not really make themselves vulnerable. I think if you have a situation where you're playing with knowledge and creating knowledge, you have the risk of looking stupid, as the kids would say. And I think this can make them initially reluctant to really want to truly engage in this learning. Cecily, I think, kind of deals with that and what he's talking about. He talks a lot about criticism and students learning how to accept criticism. I really like that he talked about this. You don't hear a lot about it in education, but I think it's something that's very important, because I wonder sometimes if many students really do have the ability to take criticism and learn from it and not just simply be put off from it and not really understand how to really incorporate that and play with that criticism and make that part of their knowledge. So I was really glad that he discussed that. At the end of the video, he talked a lot about how technology is not inherent in this playful learning and creating, but it does have the opportunity to really revolutionize this by allowing people to connect from greater distances. Another thing that I think is also true is it will help this playful creating of knowledge not just be a matter of written text, but of visuals, audio, many different formats. And this could certainly help deal with the different learning styles and different ways that different people will have of playing with and creating knowledge. But what I really wonder about is what role copyright laws and intellectual property laws will ultimately play in this. He seems to assume that people will be willing to put their intellectual properties, so to speak, out there to be played with and added upon and used by others. I wonder how much this will be true. I mean, if people are willing to do this, maybe this really can work, but all this technology is still emerging, and I just wonder how intellectual property and copyright laws will ultimately affect this, and whether they may stifle some of this creativity to a certain degree. And that's so, but we will just have to wait and see as this technology continues to evolve. And that's about all I have for tonight.